So in the Pronunciation Pro course, we work with the TED Talks. So TED.com has a huge resource of speakers and that have prepared speeches on specific topics. And the topics are wide and varied and incredibly interesting. And the whole idea with TED Talks is that they're ideas worth sharing. So they are on all sorts of different topics, but things that are motivating and helpful to people. So here in the Pronunciation Pro course, we use these TED Talks for multiple reasons. First of all, they are very inspiring, and I like to use materials that are inspiring, just in the content that they are. They are excellent examples of speech writing, okay, and just crafting a really well written speech on a specific topic. Okay, so the way that they're crafted, the storytelling that happens throughout them, there's a very specific model that is used a lot of times with these TED Talks. And I'll speak more to that later. But then there's also the delivery of these TED Talks. So the way that people do give the speeches, it's a public speaking environment, there is body language, there is the use of your voice, and the way that we use our voice to tell stories or to engage our audience. There's a lot going on with these TED Talks that I think are very powerful for especially all of you who are working on your English and working on how to be your best self and to deliver and be able to share your expertise and share your knowledge in a way that others will easily understand you, and not only understand you, but will engage well with you. And so this program is not just about saying sounds correctly or pronouncing English correctly. It's so much more than that. We want to teach, we're here to help you gain confidence in the way that you speak and to really be powerful in the way that you speak. And there's more to that than just pronunciation and just, intonation and things like that. There's so much more to that. So yes, we do need to start with the pronunciation side of things, but hopefully as you grow in your English language development and in your speaking skills, that you'll start getting into some of these other areas. So this weekend, what happened is I was able to go to a TEDx event. Okay, so TED, these TED conferences or these TED events are these organized events where speakers come and give their speech. And a friend of mine here, she's at the microphone here in this picture, and I hope you guys are all seeing that. You should, yeah. Here in this picture, this is a good friend of mine. Her name is Jen Dilly, and she organized one in our area, these TEDx events in our area. And it's the first time this event has happened in our area. And so TEDx, the X part is that they're independently organized. And so this friend of mine, she organized this it took months and months and months of planning and preparation. And she put this on Saturday night. So I was able to attend it. And I came away so incredibly inspired. And I'll have to, this is my friend, me and my friend after the event. I stuck back, I hung around after the event because I was so curious about the kind of getting to see how things were organized or watch some of the participants. And anyway, so this was after the event and things, but just kind of going back here. So these 6 people were the speakers, and then these 3 in the front were the organizers. And first of all, I was incredibly inspired. Across the board, I was inspired. The the speakers were absolutely incredible, both in their content of what they were speaking about and their delivery. Very impressed with all of that. And then also, I was incredibly impressed with this friend of mine. And I have watched her through the years, kind of try and figure out what her thing is, what her passion is, where she wants to kind of spend her time and energy. And she's raised her kids. This is actually the girl on the right is one of her daughters that helped her put on the event. But she's been reading extensively and just trying new things and trying to decide what it is that she's passionate about and what it is that she wants to spend this next chapter of her life on. And it was incredibly fun to see her in this element, putting on this event. And I talked to her afterwards and I said, "Is this your thing?" And she said, "Yes, this is my thing. I've found my thing." That this is where she felt like she was thriving in this environment, being able to put on events like this. So that was inspiring to me. The other was these speakers and the content, the messages they gave. Specifically, there was this boy. He's a 15-year-old kid from. His parents are from India. He was actually born in Florida, but his name is Shuranesh, I think is how you pronounce it. And he gave an amazing speech about how he has been able to kind of balance both cultures. Because at home, it was a very, Indian rich culture and very, very rich in his culture. But then he was living in America and had all these American cultures that he had to get used to and things. And when it comes out, I know they recorded all of these speeches and things. So when it comes out, I will post it there in Pronunciation Pro and make sure, I'll probably even send out an email with it because the message was just absolutely perfect for our students here. Of just kind of that balance of different cultures, but very impressive young man. And he, just the poise and the presence that he had during it was remarkable. Okay, another thing that I walked away from this event inspired and amazed by all that I experienced there. A couple of thoughts that I had was, first of all, how important it is for us to be exposed to things that we are inspired by. Okay, it's important for us to get out and do things that we love and be around people that inspire us and be exposed to people that inspire us. I came home from that event and I got out my journal. I'm a big journal writer. I love to write down my thoughts and ideas and impressions and things that I have. And I sat down and wrote for about 2 hours after this event, just kind of writing all the ideas, outlining. I had taken notes during the speeches and outlining the different speeches and setting goals for myself and identifying how I was going to apply some of the things that I heard and things that really inspired me. And it just like that, it was invigorating to the mind. And I encourage all of you to find things in your lives, whether it be a book or whether it be, movies, specifically inspiring movies or events like this, or go to TED.com. Oh my goodness, if you want to be inspired, go listen to some of those speeches. It's an important part of our growth and development to have those things that inspire us and to surround ourselves with people that inspire us. So that was one takeaway from the event. The other one, it was interesting because after the event was done, I was waiting to kind of talk with my friend, and I sat back and I had a few conversations with people, but I mostly watched. I'm kind of a people watcher, and I mostly watched some of the people around, and specifically the people who were speaking at the event. Now, you usually see people who have given very, some great public speeches, and you think, oh, they're not nervous. This is easy for them. They have no problem being in front of people. I am just too scared to do that. And you kind of compare yourself to what you think that experience is for them. And it was interesting sitting back and listening to those the speakers talk to other people. And I heard from them how they were so relieved that it was over, and that they, the anticipation for that event. And I actually spoke with several of the speakers afterwards too. And they were talking about, oh, I'm relieved it's over. It was a great experience. And then they talked about all the preparation that it took to get there, to get comfortable to writing their speeches and practicing delivering their speeches. They did several run-throughs of the event before the actual event. And you think that it just happens. Sometimes we think that these people who are great public speakers or who are very eloquent in their speech, that it just happens for them and they don't have to try very hard or they don't have to practice. And that is far from the truth. People who are exceptional on stage, who are exceptional speakers, that comes with practice. That comes with experience. That is something that it's just, I hope that we all understand that, because we compare ourselves. I think we compare ourselves a lot of times thinking, well, I'm just not naturally good at that, and they are naturally good at that. And that doesn't happen. And so it was really refreshing to see that all these people were nervous, absolutely nervous. They were recording it. It was video, there's an audience, plus it was being recorded. They were nervous, and they stood up there with confidence. It's not that they didn't feel fear, but they stood up there with that courage to overcome that fear. And because of their training, because of the practice, because of that repetition, they had built their confidence to a level that allowed them to do that and make it look easy. Okay. So I want you to think about that in your life and think, okay, where do I need to practice? Where do I, what is my goal in this, in learning to speak English clearly and be understood? And, where is my goal? Where do I want to be? And what do I need to do to practice to get there? Because that goal isn't attainable. It's just a matter of how much we're willing to do to get there. You're here at this study group, you're here practicing, you're here getting comfortable with your English, you're going through the program, you're doing the work. So you're already on that path, but just continuing to stay inspired and continuing to remember that purpose and not lose sight and not lose focus of what your intentions are with this program, so that you can get there, because it does take that dedicated practice to get there. I was actually talking to Shuranesh, and he was saying, and I'm like, wow, what, such a young age, he's been able to do so much. And he's like, well, I've been in, and he talked about all of the different organizations and experiences that he's already had in his life. And it's not that, yeah, he probably has a little bit more of a natural knack for it, but he's also done so much already to prepare him for this. So anyway, very inspired. And I hope that this can kind of, transfer over to you, and just think through in your own life. Are you surrounding yourself with people and things and events and that inspire you? Books, movies, whatever it is that can inspire you regularly to keep that focus. Do you have a strong focus of where you want to be and where, what it's going to take to get there? And enjoy the process. Enjoy the process. I know.